Captain Dong-Soo Kim stood on the bridge of the UES Indomitable, watching the stars drift by through the main view screen. 3 months into their patrol mission, space looked the same as it always did. Empty, silent, beautiful in its loneliness. The Indomitable was humanity's newest and strongest warship. 2 kilometers long and armed with the latest plasma cannons, it could fight any enemy Earth could imagine. The problem was that Earth had never found any enemies to fight. After 200 years of traveling through space, humans had found dead planets, empty systems, and absolutely nothing that could talk back. "Captain, morning reports are ready," said Commander Hyejin Park, walking up to his command chair. She held a tablet with the daily updates from all ship departments. Park had been his second in command for 3 years now, and Kim trusted her completely. She was smart, calm under pressure, and never missed a detail. Kim took the tablet and scrolled through the reports. Everything looked normal. The engines were running perfectly under Lieutenant Commander Tae-ho Lee's careful watch. The Marines were keeping fit under Major So-young Choi's tough training programs. Dr. Kyung-min Yoon was studying some interesting rock samples from their last stop. Even Warrant Officer Jin Woo-nam reported that all weapon systems were working at 100%. "Boring day in paradise," Kim said with a small smile. After 20 years in space, he had learned to enjoy the quiet times. In the military, boring usually meant safe. "Sir, we're getting something strange on long-range sensors," called out Ensign Boram Han from the sensor station. She was young, only 2 years out of the academy, but she had sharp eyes for details. Kim turned his chair toward her station. "Strange how?" "Large objects moving toward our position." "Very large?" "The computer can't identify what they are." Han's voice stayed steady, but Kim could hear the confusion in it. Park moved to Han's station and looked at the sensor readings over her shoulder. "Distance?" "About 50 million kilometers and closing." "They're moving fast, sir. Much faster than anything we've ever built." Kim felt his stomach tighten. After all these years of empty space, something was finally out there. Something big and fast and unknown. "How many objects?" Han checked her readings twice before answering. 37 confirmed contacts, Captain. They're huge. Each one is at least twice the size of our ship." The bridge fell silent except for the quiet hum of the ship's systems. Kim looked around at his crew. They were all good people, trained for situations like this, but none of them had ever faced anything like this before. "No human had. Red alert," Kim ordered. "All hands to battle stations." The ship's alarm began sounding its deep, urgent tone. Throughout the Indomitable, 2,147 crew members dropped what they were doing and ran to their emergency positions. In the engineering section, Lee began checking all systems and routing extra power to shields and weapons. In the Marine Bay, Choi gathered her soldiers and started handing out weapons. In the science lab, Dr. Yoon saved his work and began preparing his sensors to study whatever was coming their way. "Contact Admiral Chen at Fleet Headquarters," Kim told the communications officer. "Send them everything we're seeing." "Sir, at this distance it will take 4 hours for our message to reach Earth," the officer replied. 4 hours. If these unknown ships were hostile, the Indomitable would be fighting or dead long before Earth even knew they existed. Kim pushed that thought away. His job was to protect his crew and gather information, not to worry about things he couldn't control. "Weapon status?" he asked Nam over the ship's communication system. "All plasma cannons charged and ready, Captain. Quantum shields at maximum power. We're as ready as we can be." Kim nodded. The Indomitable was a powerful ship, but it was built to fight other human ships in the civil wars that never came. No one knew how human weapons would work against alien technology. "Captain," Han called out, her voice tight with excitement and fear, "they're slowing down. And, sir, they're not using any kind of engine we understand. No heat signature, no radiation. They just stopped." On the main screen, Kim could see tiny dots of light that hadn't been there before. As he watched, the dots grew larger. The computer enhanced the image, and Kim felt his breath catch in his throat. The ships were unlike anything humans had ever imagined. They looked almost alive, with smooth curves and surfaces that seemed to pulse with their own light. They were beautiful and terrifying at the same time. "My God," whispered Park. "They're real. We're not alone." Kim stood up from his command chair. After 2 centuries of wondering, humanity finally had its answer. There was other intelligent life in the universe. Unfortunately, it had found them first. Analysis, Dr. Yoon, Kim said into his communicator. The ships appear to be a combination of biological and mechanical components, Captain. I'm reading both metal alloys and what looks like living tissue. I've never seen anything like it. Kim studied the alien fleet on his screen. 37 massive ships against one human vessel. If they were here to fight, the odds were not good. But if they were here in peace, this moment would change everything for humanity. Open all communication channels, Kim ordered. Broadcast on every frequency we have. Send mathematical sequences, prime numbers, pictures, music, everything. What should our message say, sir? Asked the communications officer. Kim thought for a moment. Tell them we come in peace. Tell them we want to talk, and tell them we're not afraid. The last part was a lie, but it was the kind of lie that leaders sometimes had to tell. Kim was afraid. Every person on his ship was afraid. But they were also excited, curious, and ready to make history. As the Indomitable sent humanity's first message to an alien species, Kim watched the mysterious ships and wondered what they wanted. In a few minutes, he would have his answer. The alien ships hung in space like sleeping giants. For 20 minutes, the Indomitable broadcast every peaceful message humanity could think of. Mathematical formulas, pictures of Earth, recordings of music, even simple drawings showing humans as friendly creatures who wanted to talk. The response came without warning. A brilliant beam of energy shot out from the largest alien ship and struck 3 asteroids floating nearby. Kim watched in horror as the space rock simply disappeared, not destroyed or broken apart, but completely gone, as if they had never existed at all. What kind of weapon was that? Park asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Dr. Yoon's hands flew over his sensor controls. It appears to be some form of bioplasma, Captain. The energy signature is unlike anything in our databases. It didn't just destroy those asteroids. It consumed them completely. Kim felt cold fear creep up his spine. Any weapon that could make matter disappear was far beyond human technology. If these aliens wanted to destroy the Indomitable, they could do it easily. The ship's communication system crackled to life. At first, there was only static and strange sounds that might have been voices. Then, slowly, words began to form. The voice was deep and harsh, speaking in broken English mixed with other human languages. Soft flesh creatures, the voice said. Your star territory now belongs to Velothi Dominion. Submit for quick death or resist for slow consumption. The bridge fell completely silent. Kim could hear his own heartbeat in his ears. These weren't peaceful explorers or curious scientists. These were conquerors, and they had just declared war on humanity. Sir, how do they know our languages? Asked Han. It was a good question, and Kim didn't like any of the possible answers. Either these aliens had been watching humanity for a long time, or they had met other humans before. Either option was comforting. Open a channel, Kim ordered. This is Captain Dong-Soo Kim of the United Earthship Indomitable. We are peaceful explorers. We mean you no harm. The alien voice laughed, a sound like metal scraping against stone. Peaceful? Your ship carries weapons of war. Your species spreads like disease across star systems. Velothi have watched you, learned your weaknesses. Resistance is pointless. Kim exchanged glances with Park. The aliens had been studying humanity, learning about their technology and military capabilities. But they seemed to think humans were weak. That might be a mistake Kim could use. Who are the Velothi? Kim asked. We are conquerors of 17 star systems. We are masters of lesser species. We turn planets into feeding grounds for our bioships. Your Earth will make excellent food. Dr. Yoon grabbed Kim's arm. Captain, I'm detecting some kind of neural network between their ships. They're connected somehow, sharing information instantly. But there's something else. The biological parts of their ship seem to be living creatures. If we could disrupt that connection... Kim nodded slightly. Any weakness was worth knowing about, even if the odds were still impossible. On the main screen, the alien ships began to move. They spread out in a formation that surrounded the Indomitable on all sides. Kim realized with growing dread that they weren't just threatening him. They were positioning themselves to prevent any escape. War Prime Thekvar grows tired of talk, the alien voice continued. You will lower your shields and prepare for boarding. We will study your technology before we consume your ship. Kim looked around his bridge. His crew was scared, but they were also angry. These aliens had threatened Earth, called humans weak, and demanded surrender. Park's hand was resting on her weapon. Han was gripping her console so tightly her knuckles were white. Even calm Dr. Yoon looked ready for a fight. Counteroffer, Kim said into the communicator. Go back where you came from and we won't destroy your entire fleet. The alien laughter returned, louder this time. One small ship against 37 bio-warships? You amuse, Thekvar. Perhaps we will keep some of your species as entertainment. Kim cut the communication channel and turned to his crew. Well, people, we have a problem. Any ideas? Park spoke first. They underestimate us, Captain. They think we're weak because we tried to talk first. That's their mistake. They have superior firepower and numbers. Nam's voice came through the communicator from the weapons station. But their ships are huge and slow. We might be more maneuverable. Dr. Yoon looked up from his sensors. Sir, I'm reading some interesting data about their bioships. The living parts seem to be vulnerable to certain types of energy. Our quantum shields create interference patterns that disrupt biological functions. Kim felt a spark of hope. Are you saying our technology might actually work against them? Better than that, sir. I think our technology might be specifically effective against their bioships. We just need to get close enough to test it. Major Choi's voice joined the conversation through the ship's communication system. Captain, my Marines are ready for boarding actions. If we can get onto one of their ships, we might learn more about their weaknesses. Kim looked at the tactical display showing the alien ships. They were massive, powerful, and confident. But they were also predictable. They moved in formation, followed obvious patterns, and seemed to think this fight was already over. They've conquered 17 star systems, Kim said. That means they're used to easy victories. They've never fought an enemy that adapted quickly or used unconventional tactics. What are you thinking, sir? Park asked. Kim smiled grimly. I'm thinking they're about to learn why humans survived on a planet full of predators. We don't give up. We don't surrender. And we sure as hell don't make things easy for our enemies. The alien ships were moving closer now, their bioplasma weapons charging with an ominous glow. War Prime Thekvar obviously expected the humans to panic or try to run. Instead, Kim was planning something the Velothi Dominion had never seen before. All stations prepare for combat, Kim announced. We're about to show these aliens what happens when they threaten humanity. They want to fight? Let's give them one they'll never forget. The Indomitable's engines roared to life and the ship began accelerating directly toward the center of the alien formation. The crew held their breath as they raced toward what looked like certain death. But Kim had a plan and it was crazy enough that it just might work. Kim's decision surprised everyone, including his own crew. Instead of running away or calling for help, he was charging straight at 37 alien warships. But as the Indomitable raced toward the enemy formation, Kim explained his reasoning. They expect us to be afraid, he said over the ship's communication system. They think we'll try to escape or hide behind our shields. But look at how they're positioned. They're spread out in a circle, expecting us to stay in the middle like trapped animals. Park studied the tactical display and began to understand. If we fly straight through their formation, they won't be able to use their biggest weapons without hitting each other. Exactly. And Dr. Yoon thinks our quantum technology might disrupt their bioships. We need to get close enough to test that theory. In the engineering section, Lieutenant Commander Lee was working frantically to give Kim the power he needed. Rerouting all non-essential energy to engines, weapons, and shields, he reported. Life support is at minimum levels, but we'll have maximum combat capability. Major Choi was preparing her Marines for the impossible. If we get close to their ships, we might have a chance to board one, she told her soldiers. These aliens think they're superior to humans. Let's prove them wrong. Dr. Yoon made the most important discovery of all. Captain, I've been analyzing their bioships more carefully. The living parts are actually controlling the mechanical systems. If we can damage the biological components, their entire ship might stop working. How do we damage something that's alive? Asked Park. Our plasma cannons create quantum field fluctuations when they fire, Yoon explained. Those fluctuations interfere with biological neural networks. It's like giving their ships a massive headache. Nam was already working on that idea. Sir, I can overload our plasma cannons to create stronger quantum fields. It's dangerous. The weapons might explode, but it would definitely affect their bioships. Kim felt pieces of a plan falling into place. The aliens were powerful, but they had weaknesses. They relied too much on their biological technology. They underestimated human determination. And they had never fought an enemy that could adapt quickly to new situations. Here's what we're going to do, Kim announced. We fly straight through their formation at maximum speed. Nam overloads the plasma cannons and fires at anything that moves. Lee keeps the engines running no matter what. Choi prepares boarding parties for any ship we disable. And Dr. Yoon monitors their biosignatures to tell us what's working. Sir, Park said quietly. The odds of survival are very low. Kim nodded. But the odds of Earth surviving if we let these aliens learn our weaknesses are even lower. We're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for every human who doesn't even know this threat exists. The crew of the Indomitable understood. They could try to run, but the alien ships were faster. They could surrender, but the aliens had already promised to consume Earth. The only choice was to fight, even against impossible odds. All stations report ready, Park announced. On the main screen, the alien ships were growing larger. Kim could see details now. The way their hull surfaces pulsed like living skin. The bioplasma weapons that glowed with hungry light. The Velothi ships were beautiful and terrifying, like deadly creatures from humanity's worst nightmares. Incoming transmission from their lead ship, Han reported. Kim nodded. Put it through. War Prime Thekvar's voice filled the bridge. Foolish soft flesh, you fly toward death. Thekvar will make your consumption slow for this insult. Tell Thekvar that humans don't know how to quit, Kim replied. And we're about to teach you why that's a problem. The first alien ship opened fire. Bioplasma beams lanced out toward the Indomitable, each one powerful enough to destroy a city. But Kim had ordered evasive maneuvers, and the human ship twisted through space like a fighter plane, dodging most of the shots. The few beams that did hit struck the quantum shields. Instead of the easy destruction the aliens expected, the shields held. More importantly, Dr. Yoon's sensors detected something amazing. Captain, the quantum field interactions are causing feedback in their biosystems. Their weapons are actually making them sick. You heard him, Kim shouted. Get us closer. Nam, start overloading those cannons. The Indomitable dove deeper into the alien formation. Plasma fire erupted from all directions, but the human ship was small and fast compared to the massive bioships. Kim used every trick he'd learned in 20 years of combat training, rolling and spinning through space in patterns no computer could predict. Nam's overloaded plasma cannons fired their first shots. The quantum-enhanced beams struck the nearest alien ship, and the effect was immediate. The bioship's hull began convulsing like a living creature in pain. Lights flickered along its surface as its biological neural network suffered massive disruption. It's working, Dr. Yoon called out. Their bioships can't handle quantum interference. We're causing system-wide failures. But the victory came at a cost. The overloaded weapons created massive strain on the Indomitable's power systems. Warning lights flashed across every station as the ship pushed beyond its design limits. Hull breach on Deck 7, Lee reported. Emergency teams responding. We can't keep this up much longer. Kim looked at the tactical display. They had disabled 3 alien ships, but 34 were still fighting. The Indomitable was taking heavy damage, and the quantum shields were beginning to fail. That's when Major Choi made a suggestion that changed everything. Captain, one of the disabled ships is close enough for a boarding action. If my Marines can get inside and plant explosives in their biocore, we might be able to create a chain reaction. Kim realized what she was suggesting. The alien ships were connected through some kind of biological network. If they could cause enough damage to one ship, it might spread to the others like a disease. Do it, Kim ordered. Take your best people and show these aliens what human Marines can do in close combat. As the Indomitable continued its deadly dance through the alien formation, Major Choi prepared to lead the most dangerous mission in human history. She had no idea what the inside of an alien ship looked like, but she was about to find out. The battle was just beginning, and humanity's survival depended on the courage of one crew against impossible odds. The space around the Indomitable exploded with energy as the battle reached its peak. Bioplasma beams crisscrossed through the void while the human ship twisted between them, like a dancer avoiding deadly ribbons of light. Kim held onto his command chair as another near miss shook the entire vessel. Shields at 40%, Park reported, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. Multiple hull breaches on decks 5 through 9. Keep us moving, Kim ordered. Nam, how are those overloaded cannons holding up? 2 more shots, maybe 3 before they burn out completely, Nam replied. But Captain, the quantum disruption is spreading through their fleet. Look at the tactical display. Kim looked and felt his heart jump. The alien ships that had been hit by the quantum-enhanced plasma were behaving strangely. Their smooth formations were breaking apart as the damaged bioships drifted out of position. More importantly, the other alien vessels were moving to help their damaged companions, creating gaps in their defensive screen. Their biological network is their strength and their weakness, Dr. Yoon announced. When one ship gets hurt, the others feel it too. They're trying to share resources to help the damaged vessels heal. War Prime. Thekvar's voice crackled over the communication system, and for the first time he sounded angry instead of amused. Impossible. Soft flesh weapons cannot harm Velothi bioships. This must be trickery. No tricks, Kim replied. Just human engineering. You should have done more research before you threatened Earth. Major Choi's voice cut through the battle noise. Boarding shuttle launching now. Wish us luck, Captain. Through the view screen, Kim watched a small human shuttle race toward one of the disabled alien ships. The shuttle looked tiny compared to the massive bioship, like a bee approaching a sleeping whale. Choi had 20 Marines with her, all volunteers who knew they might not come back. The shuttle disappeared into an opening on the alien ship's hull. For several minutes there was no word from the boarding party. Then Choi's voice came through, filled with wonder and disgust. Captain, you need to hear this. These ships, they're not just partly alive. They're completely alive. The walls are breathing. The floor feels like skin. And there are creatures inside, the Velothi themselves. What do they look like? Kim asked. Big. Maybe 3 meters tall, covered in some kind of bio-armor that connects them to their ship. They're strong, but they move slowly. And Captain, they're not used to fighting inside their own vessels. They keep hesitating like they're afraid of damaging their ship. Kim understood immediately. The Velothi had become too dependent on their biotechnology. They fought from a distance using their ship's weapons, but they weren't prepared for close combat inside their own vessels. Plant the explosives and get out, Kim ordered. We need that chain reaction before our weapons fail completely. The Indomitable shuddered as another bioplasma beam grazed the hull. Lee's voice came over the communicator, strained with effort. Captain, the quantum core is overheating. If we don't reduce power soon, we'll have a containment failure. Kim looked at the tactical display. They had disabled 7 alien ships now, but the remaining 30 were closing in for the kill. The Indomitable's weapons were nearly burned out, the shields were failing, and the engines were running far beyond safe limits. Sir, Park said quietly, we should consider retreat. We've learned valuable information about their weaknesses. Earth needs to know what we've discovered. Kim shook his head. If we run now, they'll follow us back to Earth, and they'll adapt their tactics to counter our weapons. This might be humanity's only chance to win. That's when Dr. Yoon made another crucial discovery. Captain, I'm detecting something in their bio-network. The damaged ships aren't just sharing resources, they're sharing pain. The quantum disruption is spreading like an infection through their entire fleet. How long before it affects all of them? Kim asked. Unknown, sir. But if we could cause massive damage to their command ship, it might trigger a cascade failure throughout the entire network. Kim studied the alien formation. The largest ship, obviously Thekvar's flagship, was hanging back from the battle, protected by smaller vessels. Getting to it would require flying through the entire alien fleet. Choi, report, Kim called. Explosives planted, Captain. The biocore is some kind of massive heart-brain combination. When it goes, this whole ship should die. But, sir, I'm not sure we can get back to the shuttle. The Velothi have figured out we're here. Kim closed his eyes for a moment. Major Choi and her Marines were trapped inside an alien ship, about to sacrifice themselves for the mission. His own ship was falling apart around him, and 30 alien warships were still trying to kill them all. Nam, I need everything you've got left in those plasma cannons. One massive overload aimed directly at their command ship. Sir, that will definitely destroy our weapons, and there's a good chance the feedback will damage our quantum core. Do it anyway, Kim ordered. Lee, give me every bit of power you can spare. Park, plot a course straight through their fleet to that command ship. Sir, Park said. Flying directly at their flagship is suicide. Kim smiled grimly. Maybe. But it's the kind of suicide that might save Earth. The Indomitable turned toward the alien command ship and accelerated to maximum speed. Bioplasma beams reached out from every direction, but Kim's ship was moving too fast and too unpredictably for the aliens to get a clean shot. Choi, detonate those explosives now, Kim ordered. Yes, sir. It's been an honor serving with you, Captain. The alien ship Choi was aboard suddenly convulsed. Light flashed from every opening in its hull, and then it went completely dark. The explosion triggered exactly the chain reaction Dr. Yoon had predicted. The bio-network carried the damage to the next ship and then the next. Quantum cascade beginning, Dr. Yoon reported. The infection is spreading through their entire fleet. Nam's final shot from the overloaded plasma cannons struck the alien flagship just as the cascade reached it. War Prime Thekvar's ship writhed in space like a dying animal as its biosystems turned against themselves. The Valathi commander's final transmission was filled with disbelief and agony. Impossible. Soft flesh cannot. Valathi are supreme. Then his ship exploded, taking the bio-network's control center with it. Across the alien fleet, 37 massive warships began dying as their biological systems collapsed. The battle was over, and against all odds, humanity had won. The silence that followed the battle was almost as shocking as the noise that had come before. Kim sat in his command chair, watching the alien ships drift dead through space, and tried to understand what had just happened. In 17 minutes of combat, one human warship had destroyed an entire alien armada. "Damage report," he said quietly. Park checked her tablet with shaking hands. "Hull breaches on 12 decks. Quantum core operating at 15% capacity. Main weapons completely destroyed. Life support functioning but strained." She paused. "Casualty report shows 43 dead, including Major Choi and her entire boarding party." Kim closed his eyes. 43 good people had died to save Earth, and Major Choi had led the most important boarding action in human history. They deserved to be remembered as heroes. "Dr. Yoon, what's the status of the alien fleet?" "All bioships appear to be dead, Captain. The quantum cascade destroyed their biological control systems completely. However, I'm detecting some interesting readings from the wreckage." "What kind of readings?" "Star charts, Captain. Their computers contain navigation data for 17 different star systems. The locations of the species they conquered." Kim felt a chill. The Valathi had bragged about conquering 17 civilizations, and now humanity had proof. Somewhere out there, entire worlds were suffering under alien rule. Or worse, they had already been consumed as food for the bioships. "Sir," Han called out from her sensor station, "I'm detecting incoming ships." "Human ships." Kim looked at the tactical display and saw the most beautiful sight of his life. 6 human destroyers were approaching at maximum speed, followed by 2 cruisers and a hospital ship. Earth had received their distress signal and sent help. "This is Admiral Song Minho aboard the UES Liberator," came a voice over the communication system. "Captain Kim, what is your status?" Kim almost laughed. How could he possibly explain what had just happened? "Admiral, we have encountered and defeated a hostile alien fleet. Requesting immediate assistance with casualties and damage control." There was a long pause before the Admiral replied. "Say again, Captain. Did you say alien fleet?" "Confirmed, sir. 37 vessels of unknown design and technology. They called themselves the Valathi Dominion and claimed to have conquered 17 star systems. They threatened to consume Earth." Another pause. "And their current status?" "All enemy vessels destroyed or disabled, sir. The threat has been eliminated." When the rescue ships arrived, Kim watched through the view screen as Admiral Song's shuttle docked with the Indomitable. The Admiral was a veteran of 40 years in space, but Kim could see shock on his face as he toured the damaged ship and listened to the crew's reports. "Captain," the Admiral said privately, "what you've accomplished here, it changes everything. Humanity is no longer alone in the universe, and our first contact was with a species that wanted to destroy us." "Yes, sir. But we learned something important. Human technology is effective against their bioships, maybe more effective than our own weapons against each other." Dr. Yoon joined them carrying a tablet full of data. "Admiral, the implications are staggering. These alien star charts show the locations of conquered worlds. If there are survivors on those planets, they're waiting for rescue." Admiral Song studied the charts. 17 star systems. Billions of beings who might still be alive. He looked up at Kim. "Captain, how do you feel about the idea of humanity becoming the galaxy's liberators?" Kim thought about Major Choi and the 42 other crew members who had died in the battle. They had sacrificed themselves to protect Earth, but their victory had revealed a larger responsibility. Somewhere in the galaxy, other species were suffering the same fate the Valathi had planned for humanity. "Sir, I think we don't have a choice. If we don't help them, who will?" 3 months later, Kim stood on the bridge of a new ship, the UES Retribution, built with a combination of human technology and salvaged alien systems. Dr. Yoon had spent weeks studying the bioship wreckage, learning how to turn the aliens' own weapons against them. The Retribution was part of a new fleet designed specifically for fighting bioships. Each vessel carried quantum-enhanced plasma cannons and specialized Marines trained for boarding actions against living ships. Earth had transformed from a peaceful explorer of space into the galaxy's first line of defense against the Velothi Dominion. "Captain," Commander Park said from her position at his side, "we're approaching the first target system. Long-range sensors are detecting bioship signatures in orbit around the third planet." Kim nodded. According to the captured star charts, this system had been conquered only 2 years ago. There might still be survivors on the planet below, waiting for rescue that they probably thought would never come. "Signal the fleet," Kim ordered. "All ships prepare for combat. Let's show these Velothi what happens when they threaten innocent people." As the human fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel, Kim could see the alien bioships orbiting the conquered world. They were feeding on the planet's resources, just as they had planned to do to Earth. But this time, they would face an enemy that understood their weaknesses. "This is Captain Dong-Soo Kim of the United Earth Liberation Fleet," he broadcast on all frequencies. "Velothi ships, you have 60 seconds to surrender or withdraw. After that, we will destroy you." The alien response was immediate and predictable. Bioplasma beams lanced out toward the human fleet. But this time, Kim was ready for them. His ships spread out in attack formation, their quantum shields deflecting the alien weapons while their enhanced plasma cannons returned fire. The battle was shorter than the first one. In 8 minutes, 12 Velothi bioships were dead or dying, their biological systems destroyed by quantum interference. The human fleet suffered only minor damage. "Sir," Dr. Yoon reported, "I'm detecting life signs on the planet. Millions of them." The native population survived. Kim felt a warmth spread through his chest. They had saved an entire world. Major Choi and the others who died at Proxima Threshold had made this moment possible. "Send down rescue teams," Kim ordered. "Let's bring these people home." As human shuttles raced toward the planet's surface, Kim looked out at the stars and thought about the future. The galaxy was a dangerous place, full of predators like the Velothi Dominion, but it was also full of species that needed protection, worlds that deserved freedom, and civilizations that had the right to exist without fear. Humanity had spent 200 years wondering if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew the answer, and they had found their purpose among the stars. They were not conquerors or destroyers. They were liberators, protectors of the innocent, and the galaxy's best hope for peace. The war against the Velothi Dominion was just beginning, but Kim was no longer worried about the outcome. Humans had something the aliens didn't understand: the refusal to surrender, the courage to fight impossible odds, and the determination to protect others even at the cost of their own lives. The universe had just learned what humanity was capable of, and nothing would ever be the same.